drama over the weekend in the artificial intelligence sector. The co-founder and CEO of OpenAI was fired on Friday. OpenAI is a top AI research and development company in the United States. Sam Altman has now been scooped up by Microsoft, who's been a big investor in OpenAI. Plus, hundreds of OpenAI staff are threatening to quit and join Altman at Microsoft now. Mark New has the very latest.
It's been a whirlwind of drama over the past few days at OpenAI, the San Francisco nonprofit research organization that also has a for-profit subsidiary. It was only about a year ago that OpenAI introduced the world to ChatGPT, a generative AI chatbot that can answer questions, write speeches and papers, and much more with just a simple command prompt. CEO Sam Altman actually appeared at the Apex CEO Summit on Thursday, November 16th, where he talked about how generative AI will be the most transformative and beneficial technology humanity has yet invented. He gave no indication trouble was brewing. Then on Friday, OpenAI published a blog announcing Altman's dismissal. The blog said the board conducted a deliberative review process, which concluded Altman was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, and that the board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue to lead. Then on Saturday, the news site The Information reported that OpenAI's chief strategy officer wrote a memo to employees that things were optimistic that Altman would return to the company. But on Sunday, that all changed. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announced he had hired Altman to lead a new advanced AI research team at Microsoft. Microsoft is a major financial backer of OpenAI. In fact, on November 6th, Nadella made a surprise appearance on stage with Altman at OpenAI's Developer Day. As for OpenAI, when Altman was dismissed, they made CTO Mira Murati the company's interim leader. But that has changed too. And now former Twitch CEO Emmett Shear has been named as OpenAI's new interim CEO. That means OpenAI has had its third CEO in 3 days. So many questions remain, like how will key backer Microsoft continue to work with OpenAI now that it's hired its former boss, who left in a very embarrassing fashion. Altman still has plenty of support within OpenAI, so how will those employees feel about working under the new administration? After all, many of those employees are considered some of the brightest minds in the generative AI field. Mark New, CGTN, Palo Alto, California.
And joining us to discuss this more in depth is Ian Khan. He is the CEO of Futurist, Future Advisory, and an author and tech filmmaker. Quite a resume there, Ian. Thanks very much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
So what does this shakeup mean for the future of AI?
Well, it's super exciting for sure. And, I don't think we've had a company in the tech sector that changed 3 CEOs in 3 days. So definitely a lot of entertainment, but beyond that entertainment, it's also high stakes power game. It's about the future of AI, and this trailblazing CEO Sam Altman, who took OpenAI from where it was to where it is right now, suddenly gets fired. What is going on? Everybody's asking that question.
Well, I'm going to ask you, what is going on, and what is the advantage that those who fired him think they have now by taking him out of the business, considering how important Microsoft looks at his company, former company?
Of course. So there's lots of controversy, and we do not know the actual insider picture. A lot of that is shrouded in mystery and lies behind privacy walls right now. But eventually the truth will come out. There's many theories on what's going on, some being that Sam is working on some kind of agreements that he shouldn't have done, and they were hidden behind multiple layers of other agreements. And, according to the board, he hasn't been communicating effectively and in all transparency with the board. It's still a mystery, but what is important is that Sam, when he left, he took with him a very important person who also resigned. And now you have almost 600 to 700 employees of OpenAI who are saying they will walk out of the door if Sam is not brought back. This has never happened before, that a CEO within the tech sector had garnered so much power and so much respect that employees are ready to walk out. I think the drama is still unfolding, and Microsoft's entry into this whole picture is a game changer as well.
It looks like if 700 people leave, it's going to be a mutiny. Tell me why OpenAI has been such a hot entity up to this point, and what is it about Altman that really makes his subordinates or employees so loyal?
So first of all, Sam comes not from, he comes from a really great background, part of Y Combinator, has done many startups, and he's really well respected and known through the industry. Doesn't need the money to be able to work with a company to grow. So he's pretty much really well vested. He's done really well for himself. He was part of the original team that actually founded OpenAI back in the day, along with Elon Musk and other co-founders. And he's been with the company since the beginnings. Now, we know that a couple of years ago, they went from nonprofit to for-profit. And really, over the couple of years, past couple of years, they've gone over, I believe, a 3,000% increase in their stock value. Wow. Now, that is incredible, and this kind of growth has not been seen ever in the tech space. And there's a few reasons for that. First of all, the emergence of artificial intelligence as the technology that can just do anything and everything. There's huge attention on AI from every industry. This is like reinventing electricity, and literally they're calling it the age of AI, and it's the second coming of a technology like electricity that can do so many different things. Projected industry size is about 2 trillion by the year 2030. So a massive growth and massive interest from big tech, from the Googles, the Microsofts, and a host of other companies. We just heard NVIDIA in the last report that a few minutes ago, and that is also an AI company. A lot of what NVIDIA is doing is not chip related, it's AI. And so AI is permeating a lot of different industries, surely.
Okay, what is this for investors? What's going to mean to Microsoft? And presuming 700 people don't jump ship, what is it going to mean to OpenAI?
Oh, wow. Let's say 700 people stay at OpenAI, and Sam Altman takes that job with Microsoft, which is to establish a new division conducting AI research. I think that would give Microsoft and Satya an amazing advantage on growing the business within Microsoft. Microsoft has been very strong in terms of investing in AI and, of course, working with OpenAI very closely as a major investor. I think they would get the capacity to execute better, execute faster, and grow their business. And Microsoft is making big bets on AI in general. And they're also in competition with other stakeholders, other competitors in the space. For OpenAI, I think if whether people jump ship or not is generally definitely a disruption. They may get a small setback right now, but then they've got a huge talent base. Might take some time to grow that back, but I think they're on a great trajectory. They've got a great product that's very popular and has just expanded over the last few years. So I think they're still going to continue growing the way they were over the mid and long term. They might have a little bit of a shortcoming in the short term.
Ian, Microsoft not only got Altman, but they have the former president of ChatGPT as well. What is this going to mean for Microsoft? Because a lot of people right now remember President Biden just talking a couple of weeks ago about having to have an entity within the government looking at AI, and there are these calls all over the world to pump the brakes on AI, at least for a while.
So AI regulations are important, and that's where President Biden also issued that executive order just a few weeks ago. This is an ongoing conversation, and we're at a very early beginning of even thinking about what AI regulations would mean. It is literally a dark, empty, dark night with no stars, with no moon, no light. We have to find our way. It's very tricky and very complex because AI is very vast. So that's one part of the equation, but we have to get started. On the other hand, the move of these two individuals over to Microsoft can perhaps give Microsoft an advantage of being able to have a larger voice within that regulatory environment that we're trying to build, or that should be built. I see that as a positive, whether they are working with, both of them work with Microsoft or they're at OpenAI. I think individuals such as these have to be a big part of that regulatory environment that makes AI safe for everybody, irrespective of the nation, the country, the region where it's implemented.
Ian Khan, thanks very much for your insight. It seems spot on. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Well, much more ahead on global business. When we come back, the latest on the conflict in Gaza.